You're listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, where we share topics that will inspire business growth and help you stay ahead of advances in technology before they become mainstream. This episode is sponsored by Ingram Micro Xvantage, the game-changing platform that will transform your business potential and reshape how customers see you.
Sam, welcome to B2B Tech Talk. How's it going?
Going well. How are you? Good to see you, Nina.
I am doing fantastic. It has been too long since we've seen each other, but I wanted to catch up with you because first, I think you've got maybe an announcement to share.
Yeah, we've got a couple. We just launched a new team in Nashville. We're super excited about that team. They bring a lot of data center and infrastructure expertise to the family here at Ready. And the second one is we've formally changed our name from Ready Networks to just Ready, highlighting a bit of our business model changes and the fact that our customers call us Ready today. So it only felt synonymous to follow the same experience. So, but the legacy of Ready Networks will continue equally the same in that position. So.
Wow. Well, congratulations on your growth and congratulations on choosing a name that reflects your growth and obviously your scale.
Thank you.
We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but you and I go way back 10 years, I think. When I met you, talk about where your company was then, and then talk about where your company is today, and then we'll travel down that journey together.
Yeah.
But I just want to talk about the difference.
Could you imagine when you met us? We were less than 10 employees back then, and very traditional MSP partner, focused on the standard B2C component of the business. Today, we're just about to eclipse 100 employees. So we've definitely seen tremendous growth year over year. And what's changed for us is the philosophy of approach, learning how to kind of manage customers and grow them and scale them operationally. I think we had some opportunity there to kind of add value to those clients. And then the focus on the addressable market. The addressable market for us today, while it was maybe traditional infrastructure 10 years ago, is more focused on the hyperscalers. So we work with the large ones, as you're well aware of, the Microsofts of the world, but as well as focused on some software development that we've built into our IP and go to market. So that's what we've been up to for the last 10 years.
That's a big change from times 10. In terms of employees that are supporting you, and they're all over, and you've grown now to opening a Nashville office. When we met, I was new to Ingram, and so were you.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about that experience, because shortly after we met, there was this little group in Ingram called SMB Alliance. Yeah. What happened?
Well, it was so kind of you to stop by and say hello. That was the incubator or the intersection of the timeline. And while we were somewhat new to the communities, we had a background of our experience. And what was great about that introduction, Nina, is that you helped us identify possibility and opportunity for the channel, and helped us kind of understand the best practices to grow. So since then, I joined a community at Ingram Micro called SMB Alliance, and participated and continued to grow the mission, understand partners, what they do, how they focus. And that visibility not only gave us access to great human beings that are running their own businesses equally like us, but also gave us perspective of where and how to scale. You had, bigger partners to smaller ones. And as you collaborated and spoke to them, you realized what you could be doing better. And that resonated to me personally as part of the community experience. Since then, my involvement with the SMB Alliance continued to grow, as you're well aware, ultimately taking me to a position or a role of SMB Council President. And that president represented about 300 partners, and part of a community of other council members that basically provide leadership and participation for all the other members. And it's been quite the journey and a great experience.
That's fantastic. And I will tell you, all I did was facilitate introductions. You did all the work. You put your passion, your time, and your excitement about growing your business into every relationship that I made a connection to. So I had nothing to do with
Mhm.
it other than create handshakes. You turn those handshakes into
I
hugs.
appreciate that. Well, Warren Buffett says it best. It takes a lifetime to create relationships and seconds to torch it. So we're very mindful of the community. It's probably in my journey over the last decade, not only has it strengthened my ability to communicate with Ingram Micro, which obviously, as you know, is a large organization, but furthermore, it's created some really good friendships that will last a lifetime. So again, appreciate the community efforts that have been put forth by Ingram Micro in general. They're certainly been a great experience.
That's great. Now, I want to go now to the transformation of Ingram Micro during these 10 years,
Yeah.
because Ingram Micro has gone through a massive transformation. Talk to me about that as a partner. What has your experience been, and how do you see this transformation?
Transformation, I think overall has been good. It's really about partners staying engaged with the business. Distribution in general is a tough business model to follow, especially with the density of vendors and SKUs and subject matter expertise as you start to drill down. So I don't expect anyone to understand it because there's just too much to absorb. But as Ingram has transformed itself from a traditional, more or less SKU distributor to adding service and value, and as of recent, the launch of the Xvantage stack, it's been very clear to not just us but overall partners that while business is not perfect, they're doing the best they can from that top level down to provide as many tools and toolkits to the partners as possible. So that transformation has been measurable. We've been able to see level of effort. And then furthermore, I said this all the time. I go, use the distribution engine as your own employee base from an entrepreneurial standpoint. You've got thousands of employees who are there to help support your business and grow the vendor access piece of it. So that's been something that I've leveraged here at Ready, and it's helped our business tremendously.
Yeah, it's been since 10 years ago when I started, just seeing the evolution of our services business and the growth of our services business, as well as the introduction of Xvantage. And it's a journey,
Yes,
right?
it is.
We're excited to see, how folks have responded to it, how partners have responded, vendors have responded. But there continues to be, an evolutionary journey so that we can take that great feedback that we're getting from our partners and our vendors and our associates to make it better every day. So that's exciting. Now, business wise, you are, I consider, an excellent businessman, and you've followed the trends. And matter of fact, you've stayed ahead of the trends in how you've run your business. What's the secret?
Oh, I wish there was a one trick pony to that response. The secret is staying ahead of the competition, making sure that you've got proper structure in place from a business standpoint. And ultimately, I'll tell this to all the entrepreneurs: be honest with where your business is, and be good about stress testing your business. Because there's going to be a day where a customer may stress test it and break it accidentally, not by design. So, knowing how to scale and grow, understanding addressable markets, I think, are so significant. Traditional supply and demand approach, I think, is obviously very relevant. You take cyclical markets like what we had with COVID and the demand it generated on distribution and the channel itself. Yeah, that was a great opportunity for those who had their finger on the pulse to understand the value of what it was, and to be able to be the first partners in that front line supporting customers when they were in time of need. So those are kind of a high level flank in terms of how to approach it. But having great team members, I think, is probably the most valuable effort to our business. We've invested a lot into diversity and people over the last several years. We've positioned our growth not just to be in one particular location, but get it all segmented appropriately the same. So that way we can create a good operational ship that continues to perform itself. The best line I've ever heard the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur is the entrepreneur can come back to a functional business after a vacation or a long-term out, and a business person may struggle from that opportunity. So that's what we're trying to do, trying to build something bigger than us. And we've been doing a pretty good job at it, I think, so far.
Thank you for your candor there, because I know that resonates with a lot of our partners who are business owners, small business owners, and face those same issues every day. I want to go back to stress test. When you say stress test, what do you mean?
There's a basic operational footprint and a DNA that every business should have. It should have proper, policies and procedures in areas of finance and sales and marketing and all the traditional things that I think as a small business owner, either you don't have the luxury to pay for, or you may not be aware that it's a requirement. But those stress tests are basically focused on those 4 or 5 segments. And if your business can't handle the addressable market that you're going after, and now you start to intake this work, and it goes through these, if you will, stop gaps. And if they're not ready for that level of business, that's where one large customer could break any organization. So from service to revenue cycle to post support, these are all the things that maintain good checkpoints when it comes back to doing those stress tests.
Well said. It's a family affair, isn't it? When it comes to being a business owner, a small business owner, it's a family affair. How do you maintain that balance without creating, let's just say, cracks in the foundation?
The best way I can tell you, it's taking a bunch of plates, spinning them on a stick, and just making sure they don't wobble. The one thing that we've done very well is we've focused on structure, as we were talking about. So during this stress testing and gap checking, efforts that we've been doing, we knew that a lot of people have the ability to do a lot of things, but that's also not a good thing. So we've created specific groups, business units, KPIs, and performance indexing that helps us measure how we're supporting our customers, but also how our employees are performing equally the same. So that way they're rewarded for all that. So we've got 6 business groups here, or business units at Ready Networks. And what's really worked well for us is they have a wide lens, but within the area that they're focused on. And that's it. They rinse and repeat.
Hold on one second. Go back and repeat that, and don't say Ready Network, say Ready.
Ready, yeah, right. It's Ready, correct. And that's really it. We're ready, I guess, to be ready for our clients. And as funny as that may sound, that's always been the ideal approach. Understand the work, have the team who has the expertise in it to deliver it, and then make sure the one thing we care about when we leave is that the customer is happy and they look to come back for another similar experience.
And speaking of being ready, how ready are you for AI and to help your customers navigate both the promise and the possibility and the opportunity of AI, as well as the risks?
We're ready. I don't think anyone is ready. But as part of our overall business unit structure, we have in-house full-time developers.
When it comes to customer requests, and I know you've worked in some niche industries, you've done a lot in healthcare, you've done in hospitality. Where do you see the biggest opportunity?
2 areas, particularly one for partners who don't have sophistication in software development and have not, don't have the ability to make that investment. Understand the Microsoft Copilot program. I think that's been really great for channel partners. That's a very tactical predefined operational book there that you can get it through distribution like Ingram Micro and or work directly with Microsoft. So that's number one. And then number two, focusing on overall value. If you don't know how to wrap value around AI or technologies in general, that to me is a missed opportunity. So how do you wrap value using AI? Well, AI is a predictive analysis tool, and it requires preset learned information. So there's a series of dependencies before you throw AI into your conversation that you need to have in place. Those are the exact value points that you can wrap around service for your customers. So things like data warehousing, things like, presentation of information and data. Once you've got that framework in place, AI is an overlay that helps you get to that response and that problem that much faster.
Well said. Well said. So what's on the horizon after all of this, growth and expansion, and we're now talking AI, and what's next?
Well, making sure those plates don't fall. That's that's for sure. Becoming successful and maintaining success to me are two challenges in themselves, right? So we've gotten to a point where now we need to stabilize and continue to grow. I think we as an organization have done all the proper things in place to protect ourselves from these little gap and stress tests that we've talked about. But furthermore, if partners don't understand their business when it comes to addressable services and addressable markets, I think that's the opportunity to grow. So we're focused on addressing those market needs. Our technology stack is a focal point of our go-to-market. So 6.1 in general in our marketplace approach is something that we're going to expand on to what we're calling just a 2.0 model. Today, we handle SKUs with Microsoft and a few other elements behind it. But as we expand this platform, understanding how partners deal with digital waste when it comes to licensing is going to be one major component, and the integration into the supply chain of distribution. So other high flanking partners who already have technologies in place that allow us to pull an order, manage it, and put it back into its supply chain properly, minimizing the number of touches that you have to have with each client engagement. That's our future relative to the software piece of it. Modern workplace, great space for all partners to be in. That is an area where if you're not investing into it as a traditional MSP, you're missing the bus on that one. So that's another area we'll work on growing. And the final one I'll tell you is managed services. So managed services is a great opportunity for recurring income, as many are well aware currently. But they're not all cut from the same cloth when it comes to value. We've always wanted to make sure that our managed services offering aligns with the promise of not only our agreements, but our vision and branding. Never have to ask a question about what we did and what we delivered that month or that week. So our managed experience is very, very, it's been very successful for us, just an overall kind of statement, but really focusing on daily, weekly tasks, setting expectations with the customer, and making sure we summarize with a proper report on the back end of every month, and allowing customers to visualize not only ways for them to save money when it comes to compute or cloud, but also let them know what we did. Remind them that this is not a promise, it's a service that we do, and here are all the value points that you've achieved from us this month. So that's how we look at it. Those are all the growth areas that we'll continue to work on. Super excited about the year. It's a lot to cover, as you can tell.
It is a lot. And one last thing I have to ask, how are the boys doing?
They're good. Young men now. So my oldest is a second year in college, and my youngest is about to graduate. So my challenges are different. No more soccer games, and kind of miss those days, to be quite frank with you. But they're great. Appreciate you asking.
Yeah, you bet. Sam, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today on B2B Tech Talk.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Nina. See you soon.
Impactful global engagements, iconic entertainment experiences, and memorable networking opportunities. Be part of it all at Ingram Micro One 2024. You've been listening to Ingram Micro's B2B Tech Talk. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode and you want to continue the conversation online, use hashtag B2B Tech Talk.